Pickle. I don't know if you knew there was a sporting event this weekend? A sports-adjacent event?
Sports adjacent.
Sports-adjacent
There were no
event.
sports being played.
No. We're going to not recape, the 2021 NFL draft as it pertains to Texas here in the state of Texas. And look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Another great year for Texas in the NFL draft.
33 Texas high school football players.
See, here's the thing. Now, and that's a cause for a little bit of debate, okay?
Okay. Oh.
What is the number? Because my question is, what do you do with a guy like Kellen Mond? Kellen Mond, of course, played football in San Antonio before he transferred for his senior year to IMG Academy in Florida. Do you consider him a Texas high school football product? I say yes. You know why? Because I'm a jerk, and I'm in this for me. This is brought to you by our good friends at Panini America, PaniniAmerica.net, for the latest trading cards. I know that's all the hotness right now. The cards are back. Everybody's trying to get their hands on some cards. And so if you go to PaniniAmerica.net for cards and stickers, that's where you can find TexasFootball.com. It's where you can get a link there.
Yeah, and they come like instant. That was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that's so cool how they can do that. Like,
it really is.
You would think that would take a hot minute.
So Texas produced the most players this year in the NFL draft. 35, 34. It doesn't matter because in second place was California or Florida with 32. So no matter what, however you slice it, Texas has the most players. And there was this is not as big of a gap that we've seen in past years. For example, in 2020, Texas produced 33, and the second most was 23. They lapped the field. So Florida helped catch up. But what you ended up seeing here in the 2021 NFL draft was, again, a lot of domination from the state of Texas as far as players going throughout the course of the draft. We mentioned it earlier today, or last week rather, that there were 3 Texans taken in the first round of the NFL draft in Jalen Waddle from Bel-Air Episcopal, Rashawn Slater from Fort Bend Clements,
and then the twofer,
and then Peyton Turner, from Houston Westside, as well as the University of Houston. Then when we got into the second round was when things kind of hit another level. That's when things like the depth really started to show for the state of Texas, starting in the second round. You had Levi Onwuzurike, the tackle at Allen.
Good job, bud.
Went to Washington.
Spot on.
It's early. I've only had half a cup of coffee. He went to Washington at number 41. I thought Trevon Moehrig, the safety out of TCU, going number 43 overall to the Raiders was maybe the steal of the draft.
Of course,
absolutely. From Smithson Valley. I thought he was among the best defensive backs in the country last year.
I think
we
all agreed on that.
He won the Thorpe Award
last
year, so he certainly got something. Walker Little from Stanford and Bel-Air Episcopal went number 45 overall. Then Sam Cosmi, the tackle from Texas, went from Atascocita, went number 51 overall. Daria Odeyingbo from Vanderbilt and Carrollton Ranchview. Super cool to see Carrollton Ranchview go on the board in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
He was 54th overall in the second round to Indianapolis. And then Nick Bolton from MIZ and Frisco Lone Star goes 58th overall to the Chiefs there, as well as Kyle Trask goes in the second round to Tampa Bay. He will get to learn under Tom Brady. And, of course, Kyle Trask, very famously not the starting quarterback at Manville, and now goes 64th overall in the NFL draft, so pretty good little run for him. Speaking of quarterbacks, in pick 66 in the third round, Minnesota drafted Kellen Mond out of
the
course,
pictures
Texas A&M.
Were awesome. Did you see the pictures from his celebration at the house? That was really cool.
Very cool. Kellen Mond goes 66th with the a very nice pick at number 69. Joseph Osai goes to Texas out of Conroe Oak Ridge. Milton Williams out of Crowley, who was one of the best players in Conference USA last year, at least from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, from Marshall.
He goes to Philadelphia. That's number 73. Mansfield Paulson Adebo goes 76th to Stanford, or out of Stanford goes 76th to the Saints. Super cool to see playing with Brandon Stevens out of SMU. going, 104th overall. Baron Browning, of course, at one point, he was on the cover of our recruiting magazine. He goes 105th overall to Ohio State.
Another
or,
one
I'm sorry,
that
out of
aged
Ohio
well.
State to Denver. And that rounded out the day 2.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so really, I'll be honest, the first round with only, especially before Peyton Turner got picked at 28, which was, I think a little bit of a surprise to some people.
Yes.
Before he got drafted, I was a little bit worried, like, two Texas players in the first round.
Yeah, especially because
what's going to go on
Florida,
here?
Georgia, and California
Yeah.
they were going
They
bang,
were
bang,
racking
bang,
them up.
bang, bang. Yeah.
But by the time Friday ended, I was like, we're good.
We're good.
Don't worry about it. Because then you got into the Saturday where a lot of guys got their name called. I won't read them all. You can find them all on TexasFootball.com. But of note, I thought that the Rams got a great steal in Bobby Brown out of Arlington Lamar, the Texas A&M defensive lineman. I thought he was fantastic. I believe the first, if you don't count Kellen Mond as a Florida kid, and I don't, then the first Texas player who didn't play high school, or the first Texas college player who didn't play high school football here, got drafted 123rd overall was Zach McPherson, the corner out of Texas Tech, when he got drafted by the Eagles there. Elsewhere, I thought that the Steelers did well to grab Dan Moore out of Texas A&M, 128th overall.
The Bucs grabbing Jalen Darden.
I was going to say, do you want to give us a call?
Yeah, call.
129th overall, the Bucs grabbed Jalen Darden in the 4th round. Then we got a run on wide receivers because Tylan Wallace went. Buddy Johnson, I thought a great pick for the Steelers.
Yes.
To go grab Buddy Johnson out of the Pride of Dallas Kimball Go Knights and in Texas A&M with the 140th pick. Taekwon Graham out of Texas, another guy. That was a guy. This just shows my age because he was on that Temple team that went to a title game and lost to Highland Park, which was the first of their three-peat.
Yes.
And Taekwon Graham was one of the most physically intimidating people I've ever stood next to. That was a large child.
Was that in 15?
16?
16.
I want to say
16. Okay, I guess that would make
16
sense.
sounds right. 16 or 17. 16.
I think it would be 16.
Anyway, Taekwon Graham is now a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Caden Stearns is a member of the Denver Broncos after going and he was a former super team defensive player of the year in Dave Campbell's Texas football of note there. Elsewhere, Ernest Brown IV out of Northwestern goes to the Rams, the defensive lineman out of Denton Ryan. Cool to see him get drafted. Marquez Stevenson, I don't know how in the world he fell to 203rd.
Yeah.
I
have no idea.
I just don't. I mean, I know why, which is that he was hurt for 2020. But
Talk about a sleeper pick. I mean,
there's film before that, right?
Yep.
I thought that was a fantastic.
What was
grab
the
for
injury
Bills.
again?
It was a knee injury, if I remember correctly.
I was just
so
say,
it's
but
not,
I think it was one of those things that it didn't feel like it was going to have insanely long-lasting effects too, which is one of those things.
Marquez Stevenson. They said it was an undisclosed injury, but it was a leg injury.
It was a leg. Yeah.
So I don't know if they ever came out and directly.
Yeah,
said
I was just wondering if they were concerned that it might be a reoccurring thing at that point. Because other than that, yeah, I was shocked he fell that low.
Former Dave Campbell's Texas football cover boy Sam Ellenger is heading to the Indianapolis Colts. He was actually on the cover twice because he was on the secondary cover, if you remember, with Todd Dodge.
Yes.
And then he was on the cover of the 2019 edition. He went 218th overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Jack Anderson, who was one of the best high school offensive linemen I think I ever watched at Frisco. And he went to Texas Tech. He got taken by the Bills in the 7th round. Kerry Vincent. This is what's cool for me. Is that I remember these kids being super teamers. Like, I remember these guys, laying out their names in the magazine and be like, man, Kerry Vincent, now he's going to be on the Broncos, right? And then, finally, and I mean this finally, we had Mr. Irrelevant.
We did.
Mr. Irrelevant, of course, is the nickname for the final pick of the NFL draft. And this year, we've had it in a couple of years.
I was going to ask if you knew.
We've had some Texas ties in the past for Mr. Irrelevant.
When the last one was.
I want to say a couple years ago, maybe 2018 or 2019, there was Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay.
I can look that up, actually. But we have it again as Grant Stewart, the linebacker from Houston, and the pride of Conroe Oak Ridge, goes 259th overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was, an all-conference safety and linebacker, kind of hybrid guy. Look, whenever you're drafted that late, the chances of you sticking with that team are a little bit low. But I will just tell you that was pretty cool.
But again, like
do you know who it was? It was 2018. It was Trey Quinn. Trey Quinn got drafted out of SMU.
Yep.
That was the last time we had a Mr. Irrelevant.
That's funny. But again, Mr. Irrelevant still means that you heard your name get called at
Absolutely.
the NFL draft. You're not a free agent.
You get like a parade.
Yeah.
You do. You get what do? You get a parade in some Newport Beach, California. You get a parade, which is super cool.
Yeah,
anyway.
If you're going to get drafted, you might as well get a parade out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why go number 1 when you could be Mr. Irrelevant and get a parade?
That's exactly
right.
Yeah, I don't see any parades being thrown for Trevor Lawrence.
I don't either.
So, there you go. It's the 2021 NFL Draft.
He'll have Super Bowl
it's in
parades one day.
It's in the it's in the books. It's in the pocket. It's out of sight. The 2021 NFL Draft, of course, thanks to our friends at Panini America for sponsoring our coverage on TexasFootball.com. You can find complete coverage of how Texans shook out in the 2021 NFL Draft on Texas Football.